Hey, my Jujubes, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? Today is Tuesday. I have not been on here since Friday. Please forgive me. But if you are new here, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would be so excited if you did. Also, I announced my winner for the giveaway, and I'm waiting on her to get back in contact with me so that I can go ahead and gift that prize. Keisha Banks, I think, was the winner. So if you know her or if she's somewhere you can contact her, please let her know that she has won. Hold on, guys, because this, it just looks so dark. Okay. So yeah, we're going to finish up Christmas with the Okafors. I got a lot of things going on off camera, and I'm going to try my best to include you guys in the things that I have going on. I opened up a business to do jewelry, all things accessories. So I got the little, I don't know if you guys can see, not this one though, but the ones that hang, those three, I make those necklaces. I got some anklets and stuff going on. So I'm trying to get everything off the ground with that. I'm also in the process of about to be but on a podcast with my friend. We're going to be recording actually this Sunday, so please be on the lookout for that, because I'm going to try to incorporate that podcast, the video of the podcast on here, so you guys can kind of get a feel of what I'm doing on the podcast. And I'm still going to be here on my YouTube channel, so don't leave here. I'm trying to get some things in the work for me and my family. So just ride with me if you don't mind. So we're going to pick up, I just have some barbecue boneless wings. I wasn't starving, so I thought I would have something light to talk to you all with. And some french fries. So we're going to jump right in where we left off at. So now it's kind of cold. We left off with Easy letting everybody know or confirming that Ray is deaf like Morgan. And he told them how when he talks, she reads his lips, and how she tries to sign back to him when he signs stuff to her. So the house went to sleep. I think this is Christmas night, if I'm not mistaken. So everything has settled down, and I'm going ahead and have one of these. It was a long day today at work. You're making me happy. But the house had calmed down, and this for Morgan is like the worst time of the day is at night, because it allows her too much time to think and be alone, and everything is so settled. During the day, she got to, chase after her kids and plan on this fake smile. But at night is when the world quiets down and she's awake. But it also represents the time of the day when her and Messiah spent the bulk of their time together in those wee hours of the morning. Because he ran the streets all day and came and lay with Morgan all night. So she said that she almost hates that this happens to her, that, she can't shake this feeling. Even though he's been gone for all this long time, she can't seem to get rid of this nagging sadness. It's like she walks around with a facade on a daily basis, because she's trying to make everybody around her feel like she's okay and she's coping, but at the same time, she's not. You know, she's just there. She's just like a shell of a person. And when Messiah died, a piece of her went right with him. So the night times, like I said, are rough for her. So she's just kind of laying in her room, reflecting or whatever the case may be. And she said to herself, she wondered if she would ever get over him. If she would feel better if things played out differently. She feels so torn because it's sad that he died, but like he died thinking that she hated him, you know, and vice versa. So she wonders like if they would have been on good terms, would things be different? Would she feel different? Would he feel different? He was the love of her life. And with everything happening the way it felt, she said she feels like she wondered if she imagined the whole affair. So she said he had gone from loving her so well to being so cruel, like in the blink of an eye. And that's literally how it happened. It's kind of like you was reading book 1, 2, 3, and everything was cool. I mean, they had their rifts that, you know, normal relationships have or like young relationships have. And then it seemed like it just went from that to bad immediately. It was like, I guess as a reader, you kind of saw the build up, but it was like, boom. That scene on Blue's Line, it does something to me every time. I be so hurt. Like, in my mind, I be like, Morgan, just go home. Every time I read it, like, I know she's going to do something different. She's not, ma'am. She's going to do the same thing she did the last time we read the book. But I be so hurt. Like, please, Mom, just go home. Before she even go, I'm like, please don't go. Please don't go. Like, I read the same book expecting a different result. Like, ma'am, you know what's going to happen. So she said falling in love was incredible, but falling out of it was torture. So this part just talking about her going to school, trying to run away from Messiah and all the memories of him and being back in Michigan just brings all those things back. Even though when she in London, it's the same thing. It's just not as intense because she doesn't have things around her that constantly reminds her of him. So before she knew it, while she was laying there, she decided to just get up and go. So she got up and drove to Messiah's house. Now, imagine he left her this house, but she doesn't know that. And every time somebody try to talk about Messiah, she literally breaks down. Like, literally, like, tears, hyperventilating. She don't want to talk about it. So she grabbed her keys, went over to the house that they used to occupy with each other, his house. So she's sitting outside in the driveway, and she goes up to the door, and she gets the key that he had taped behind somewhere, and she said that he used to leave it there for her because she would always lose her key. So as she walked in, of course, it was cold because nobody lived there, and then she all of a sudden was flooded with thoughts. You know, the time that he put a Christmas tree up for her, that was the last time that they were there in that house before he died. She said it had been the best Christmas night of her life. The house was dark and freezing cold. She flicked the light switch, but there was no life inside these walls. She said no need for heat or electricity because Morgan didn't care. So she went upstairs, and she said visiting this house was like the closest thing to visiting a gravesite, which she said she knows she would never do. The house will always only be a place that she would go to, you know, get those memories or get that feeling back, because that's where they spent the most of their relationship together, and that's where they loved each other at. And it's like, I don't want to go somewhere where my memory of you is death. I want to go somewhere where my memory of you is going to be life, you know. And so she went in there and she told him, she said, I miss you. She said, and it's getting hard, Messiah. She said, everything how could you leave me? Everything was, no, she said, how could you leave me? She hated that the bed was gone because, of course, I'm sure she would have laid in the bed and cried. She said, so she looked into the cabinet in the bathroom because remember, she took a pregnancy test the night before he went on his last run with Amika and Issa. She took a pregnancy test and she left it in there. And she never, of course, went back to get it because by the time he came home, that's when Woozy had came and blew the spot up. So everything was just like went downhill from there. And so she said she saw the pregnancy stick, and before she could do anything, she just cried like real hard, like breakdown type of crying, to where she slid down the wall and kind of sat in the bathroom. And so she told him, like, I gave you life and you died on me. She said, you died on me before I could kill you for breaking my heart. I just wish you could come home, sire. She said, you tricked me into this. I had 2 babies for you and you left me alone, and I don't know what I'm doing with them. I think Yara is deaf, Messiah. Our baby can't hear and I'm terrified for her. She said, I don't know if I'm a good mom or if I'm loving them enough because all I can feel is pain. You left me with so much pain. I'm about to cry, y'all. And then she said, I almost wish I never met you. And she sat there for an hour because even though she hated him, she loved him too. And I think a part of her always will, especially with her her having to be the mother of the children that they bear together because they planned them kids. Even though things didn't map out how they wanted them to, they planned those kids together because she wanted a piece of him and he wanted to make a life with her. And as messed up as Messiah is, I don't believe that he loved her in vain. I think it was real love. It was just misconstrued. He didn't know how to do it. She didn't know how to do it. I think they both were 2 people like experimenting life together. And that's okay when the stakes are not so high. But the stakes with Messiah and Morgan are like skyrocket high. You know what I mean? He was 25. She was 18. And I don't use Asian as an excuse for either one of them. But she was 18 and never experienced anything and was always looking for this extra sense of belonging or love. And then you got him 25 and he's never belonged or loved anybody. So it's like they were just like trauma bonded. That's exactly what they were. So it's just real different. So then you have, now we go to Ethic, and he is going to the cemetery to visit his loved ones. Okay, he's going to visit Raven. He even went to go visit Kenzie and Love. And Love is his greatest regret. I think out of all the, not Love, Kenzie, I think out of all the things that he's probably done in his life, Kenzie is the one that he regrets the most. More so because he's married to the woman of that baby. And it's like every day I look at her, I look at you, and I can't bring you back for her. So I think that's just like a constant regret that he has. And he was talking, saying, that that's the hardest thing for him, and he don't know if he ever gonna forgive himself, and God help me. And he cried and, had a little breakdown, and then he went to Raven and told her, can't forget you. He said, thank you for sending him back, talking about Easy. And thank you for helping him accept her. You ain't never been too good at sharing. And it's kind of like a shooting star went by, and he said, I love you too. And thank you for sharing Easy with her, Ray. Merry Christmas, beautiful, sleep well. So, of course, he includes her in everything. And the fact that, the universe is allowing for Easy to be able to accept Alani without any hang-ups or hiccups is good. And because really Alani is the only mother that he's ever really had. Even though Dolce was around, Yaya was even around. But Alani was the only one who has come along and mothered both him, Bella, and even Morgan in her difficultness. So this is, okay, so this is Christmas. That was Christmas Eve. I apologize, y'all, because I was saying the wrong day. So now we are Christmas Day, and Alani got up early because she was trying to make sure that she was able to, get all the dinner stuff ready for this big old dinner that they were having to have. So she woke up at 4:00 in the morning to make sure that she could put the turkey in, because we all know that the turkey gonna take all day, and she just wants everything to be perfect because this is something that Easy requested for her to do. So she gets up and she goes downstairs But she's checking in on everybody. She's checking in on Ethic, and he laying on the floor. We are on his chest asleep. Morgan's in the bed with Masari asleep. The kids asleep. So she's trying to be quiet while she go downstairs and put the turkey in the oven. So she go in the kitchen. She get the turkey in, and then she winds up going to the living room. And I think she like gets attracted by the light of the gift that the star that Ethic gave her. And when she gets up on it, she tries to turn it. And then she like, you know, I got like her head, like she had a sharp thing in her head, and all of a sudden she passes out. So this is like the prologue happening right now. So Easy, of course, remember he was sneaking downstairs trying to take a bite of the cookie that was supposed to be left for Santa. And he like, Daddy, you know, like, Daddy, something's wrong. And so Morgan get up like, why is he screaming at the top of his lungs like that? And he got to his feet and like, Easy, like, what happened? So before he could even get any more questions out, he saw Alani on the floor. You know how about, Lord, not today. What is going on? Like, Easy just got okay. Everything was going smooth. Come on, don't let my wife be on here checking out on me. And so he picked her up. He like, what happened to her? Easy like, I don't know. Because imagine when he got down there, she was already on the floor. He didn't see her pass out. She was already on the floor by the Christmas tree when Easy was down there sneaking. So he kneels down and scoop her up, and he rocking her back and forth like, come on, baby, wake up for me. Alani, wake up. And so she kind of like groans a little bit. He whispered in her ear. And she wake up and he like, she breathing, I need the cold towel more. So they go get it, Bella go get a cold towel. They put it on her hand. She's like, Ezra, my head is hurting. I'm really dizzy. He said, it's okay, I got you. And so he took the first aid kit. He said, you want to tell me what you were doing down here on that ankle? And he told her, like, it looked like you reopened the wound that was on your leg. She said, I'm fine. I just got hot and the room just started spinning. And Easy like, is she okay? And she's like, I'm fine, big man. I just fell. So she told everybody to go back to bed. And then Ethic told everybody, I got it. We're going to go back to bed. So he told her, like, we're going to take you to the hospital. And so he like, because you can't do this kind of stuff to me. He's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. I was just trying to, get dinner to make sure everything was going to be cooked on time. He said, we're going to the hospital. She's like, Ezra, it's Christmas. I am not going to the hospital. And he said, yeah, you are. So before she could even finish, he took her upstairs, carried her upstairs, put her clothes on, got her dressed, got himself dressed, got in the car. Like, we ain't finna ask no questions. You're not getting ready to pass out on me at the Christmas tree and then tell me I ain't taking you to the doctor. Like, girl, get on, come on. So, they go to the doctor, they run a couple tests. She had to get stitches, I think, on her forehead. And she's like, we didn't have to do this. Like, now they probably gonna open up the Christmas gifts without me. Now I'm gonna miss it because of you. And he like, nobody, they did open them. They're not gonna do it without you. Nobody's thinking about that. They just want to know that you're okay. So he give her the phone, and she see all the messages from Bella and Morgan and Easy checking in to make sure she okay. So that kind of made her hyper, like they are worried about me or whatever. So he told her, like, you are our gift. If you aren't right, nothing's right. So she sat back, they went home. So when they got home, of course, Ezra had everything decorated. He had like some caterers there to set up all the food that she made. He was like, because you cooked it, but you damn sure ain't finna serve it too. Like, we not gonna do that. And she like, when she walk in the door, but like, you're home. Easy run over there, give her a hug, And then she's like, okay, so what time is everybody coming so I can go ahead and get ready? And then and Ethic is like, right about now. And she said, okay, let me go change and be down. So she go upstairs. And of course, he got a whole outfit on the bed laid out for her so she don't have to think too hard. And give her a card that says, to my love on Christmas. And so then everybody comes. It's Nanny. It's Uncle Larry. It's Zeke, which is Ethic's dad. And you got Zora, which is his sister. And you got Deborah, which is Ezekiel's wife, which is Zora and Nair's mom. And then you got Mo and Bash and his parents wind up coming. I mean, it's just like a Huxtable Christmas, basically. So, she told Nanny told everybody this was beautiful, and then he had Ethic had it set up to where all of the food was labeled. You know, it had like sage and cranberry dressing, lobster macaroni and cheese, collard greens, candy yams, deviled eggs made from an angel. Like, it was just all just set up really nicely. And she was telling him like, this is so pretty, it's way prettier than I would have done it. And that's what he told her, like, you made it, you wasn't about to serve it too. And so she told him like, no matter how this dinner turns out, I have you and you have me, and that's all that matters. Because she was concerned about her parents actually making it to the Christmas dinner. But you remember Ethic told her that he didn't get a chance to talk to them, even though he really did talk to both parents. And so he told her, like, you're the only thing in life I'm afraid to lose, Alani, Lanika, Okafor. And so he went to go answer the door. And so that's when everybody came in. Grandpa Zeke or whatever, and Deborah. So Deborah told Ezra, like, it's so many things that I wanted to tell you, in so many ways that I wanted to be there for you all over the years, but I knew I couldn't. She was like, and I always thought about you. She's like, especially around Christmas time, because mind you, Ezekiel had left Ethic and his mom to be with Deborah and her and have kids, a family, and everything with her. So it's kind of like, I can't really be mad at her because that's my daddy's choice, not his. She was like, and I am sorry. She was like, but every year I gave my kids Christmas cards, and here's yours from all over the years. So imagine she's probably had these Christmas cards for 30 years. So she gave it to him and told him, like, you can do whatever you want to do with them, but I think that you should have them. And he told her, like, Merry Christmas, Deborah, or whatever, gave her a hug. And so Zora was like, Mom, don't nobody care about them Christmas cards. Like, tell him that it's money in there that he done saved up over the years. That's what he really want to know. And so Ethic was glad that Zora came and, like, broke the ice or whatever, because he really didn't know how to feel about Deborah, because in reality, you took my dad away from my family. And I lost my mother because of the union that y'all have built. So it's kind of like, like I'm on edge, but I won't take it out on her because it's really not her fault. So, they all went in and greeted each other, and Henny came over, even though Ethic tried to act real hard and be like, boy, didn't nobody invite you over here? And he made sure that he said something about her and Bella and Henny having matching Jordans that he done bought them or whatever. Because she had asked him, like, did you give me some Balenciaga sneakers? He like, nah, you don't need my gym shoes. Like, you got some news over there, like nice kicks. Like, you don't think I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That he over there buying you shoes with his slick stuff. So I'm like, you sit right here next to me with your slick talking self. So he wound up buying at the like an 82 Monte Carlo Cadillac converter thing that he was looking for. So that's how he was able to get into the house that day. So I think, like I said, Bash and their parents came up, whatever the case may be. And then that's when she was like, introducing them to, like, you guys already know whoever they, this is Alani. And then she said, Morgan told us that what happened, we hope that your family's okay. She said, we're blessed. And she said, this is my dad, Ethic. And Christiana, with her snooty self, gonna say, I've heard you say that many times, Morgan. I don't think I'll ever get used to it, Christiana said, smiling. That's an interesting name. What kind of name is that? Like, girl, who are you talking to in this house? Like, don't do that. Alani said, the kind that you put some respect on. Okay, period. Because don't come for her husband. And so, of course, Morgan laughed because she really ain't used to nobody checking Christiana, because it's usually just Christiana. And so she was speechless for the first time. So then David introduced himself, which is Christiana's husband. And so Ethic told her, like, and she was like, and this is, and then she was like, Lanika, you can call me Lanika, like, because that Alani stuff is only for her family members or whatever. And so Ethic was like, you need to put Lanika away, because, I like her. Like, I like you, she get my kinky side. So don't have her come out, if I take her upstairs and, what I'm saying, with Lanika, whatever. So they laughed or whatever the case may be. And Morgan said that it was really weird that there was so many people, because they never had done Christmas like this. It was always just the four of them, Morgan, Bella, Easy, and Ethic. Like, to have a whole, unit, a whole family, a whole village is new to them, but it's good at the same time because they all have other people outside of them that they can lean on. They got grandparents now, aunts and uncles, people who are close knit, people who Ethic can trust that now they can trust. And so Easy was like, this is like a TV Christmas, ain't it, Mo? Like this. She was like, yeah, you did a good job. And so now I went to bless the food. Of course, he had a long-winded prayer, and they told him, like, come on and do all that. So I think in the middle of that, Cecil, which is Alani's father, he comes in and the doorbell rings again, and she's like, that's probably Aria and Nick. I invited them. And so every time the doorbell rang, I guess it was like this anxiety that Alani had, and I guess, well, not I guess, but Ethic sensed it. So when the doorbell rang, this time she said, you're all I need. You're really all that I need. He said, no, I'm not, baby. And she frowned, and then that's when Cecil came in, and he said, I'm sorry I'm late. And he had a Cabbage Patch doll in his hand. And he said, I remember a long time ago, you asked me for one of these for Christmas and I couldn't make it. I never did get it to you. I did a lot of searching to find this. I'm 25 years late, but that's better late than never, right, Ezra? And so Ezra called Elaine to come to him, like come, and she went. And now she's like completely bawling because she can't get herself together. He's telling her, like, breathe, it's okay. And so, like, she like her hyperventilating. I remember that Christmas, Ezra. I waited all night for him. She said that he never came back after that. And so she was like, he did. Look at him and look at me. So it's like it was just them two. Even though it was a room full of people, it was just them two in that moment. I love Ethic for that. But in that moment, he said, or Ashley Antoinette wrote as the narrator, she's awesome. But she said, wherever she needed replenishing, whether alone or in a crowd, Ethic supplemented. So no matter that it was a group of people or a room full of people that was watching them, he took care of her right then and there. Like, I'm not going to take you away, or I'm not going to, put it off till later. I'm taking care of this right now. So he said, me and you, like it's me and you. And all of them too. And then she said, Daddy, you should eat. You can come have a seat. And he said, I'm going to be better for you, La. And he gave her the Cabbage Patch. And she said, I love it. Merry Christmas, Daddy. Okay, sorry, y'all. I'm running dinner. Sit, eat, be merry, and all of that. So that's so the house was full that day. And everything was merry. So they wind up going to Aria wound up having a fundraiser thing. So the Stiletto Gang danced that night at Christmas, and so they all went and did that. And of course, Bash didn't want her to go, but she was like, I'm going anyway. So she wound up going over there, and she wound up seeing Issa, and she wound up seeing Amik there as well. And she really didn't want to run into them anymore because they were such a constant reminder of Messiah. But she had already ran into Amik at Walmart. So this was kind of her time to run into Issa backstage. So, of course, she killed the stage, threw up her M&Ms, you know what I'm saying? That she always does. Like, she don't think about it or whatever. And so they have a nice little show. And then the crew come in and mess the show up or whatever the case may be. And then they asked her like they couldn't believe that she wasn't coming on tour for them or whatever. And so I think she saw Issa, and I don't think he hugged her. And so she said, Issa, please don't. Please don't. He said, I didn't even do nothing, Mo. Like, dang, give me a little minute to mess something up before you talk about, no, Issa, don't. Let me do something wrong before you tell me Issa, don't. And she started laughing. She said, I'm so mad at you because I thought you was my friend. He said, I'm your friend. He said, I ain't a very good one, but we both already knew I ain't shit, shorty. And she like, don't call me that. She talking about he died, so she started crying. She said, we fought so bad, and now he's gone. And so she really felt like she couldn't handle any more of this. You know, like this is an emotional roller coaster. Every time I see y'all, it reminds me of him. And that's the reason why she went to London, because it was just too much for her to bear. And so he told her, like, it's some shit that he left you. And she said, I can't talk about him, Issa. Whatever it is, I don't want it. I don't want to drown again. She said, I can't take him with me and I can't stay. He said, peep this, Mo. I love me some Issa in this aspect. He said, peep this, Mo. He said, I know you got to do what you got to do. But my man, Messiah, he going to be with you everywhere. He dead as fuck, okay? But he was wrong. We was wrong as fuck. He said, shit, we always on some bullshit, okay? He said, but that, he all over you. So run all you want. He just gonna follow you, and that's on, he said, that's on all that gang shit you just left out on that stage. He said, be safe, shorty, do-op. And when you ain't, you got a couple hitters on your team that's out here somewhere, and that's on the cruise. So she went on ahead and left. She saw me come, so she tried to hurry up and slide out the back. You know, I'm like, I can't do 2 emotional reunions at one time. And so Ethic, and she was going to pack herself so she could go back to London tomorrow. Ethic tried to have the same conversation with her about about Messiah, but she like completely shut him out. I don't want to hear anything about it. Everything that, all these messages that he done gave y'all to try to reveal to me, I don't want to hear, because I wanted to hear from him. It doesn't mean anything coming from you guys. It will only mean something if it was coming from him. And Ethic was like, I need to tell you this. He was like, when I had that man about to off him and death was the next thing coming, all he was concerned about was what you knowing. He said that Messiah said, make sure that Shorty know it was real. And she said it wasn't. And he said, tell Shorty I loved her. And she said he didn't. And so she said, that's when she flipped out. I don't want to talk about him. Talking about him makes me want to die. So I don't want to talk about him anymore. So Ethic felt like, okay, like we have to eventually talk about this, but I'm not going to press the issue because I don't want to make her uncomfortable. And I don't want to, ruin everything that we have right now in this moment by trying to bring this up right now. So he let it go. He wound up giving her a Rolex that Raven had when she was younger. And on the back of the Rolex, I think it said, so he gave her a box and it says, so you always know what type of time I'm on. My heart never stops turning for you, baby girl. If a nigga start ticking, you know he counterfeit. With the on and off, with the starting and stopping, love is constant mode. If he can't tick constantly, he's fake and you deserve nothing. And she said, less than authentic. And so he gave her a Rolex, and on the back of it, it said Princess Atkins. And he had kept it for all those years. She also talked to him about Yara being deaf, and he was like, she is, Mo. He was like, but you know how to handle it. Like, you know the deepest and secretest parts about being deaf, so you'll be able to do just fine being her mom. And so he told her that he loved her and Merry Christmas, Mo. And so he left, and I'm gonna stop here. It's only a little bit more, but I don't want to, kill the time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would be so excited if you did. I will see you guys next time. Maybe not the same time, but the same place. And until next time, bye, my Jujubee.